Welcome back to another episode of The Rhythm. I am your host, Jarrett Reed. I have another guest in here. I think this is like episode 7. The Rhythm is about finding out where people come from, why they do the things that they do. I'm big on that. But before we get into the show, here's a little message from my idol.
Yeah, first of all, you know what I'm saying? We want to thank God, just, you know what I'm saying, dead serious, because if it weren't for him, you know what I'm saying, we wouldn't be here. But it's like this, though. I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying? Them closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and don't nobody want to hear it, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
And forever the South will have something to say. I'm really excited about this guest, to be honest with you. When I first thought about podcasting and I was thinking about storytelling, this is probably the first person I thought of. It's kind of weird because we have like ranging coincide like relationships. Like on one spectrum, we met at this place, but we also have different connections at other places, which is always pretty interesting to me. And we come from two totally different places, in my opinion. And but yet we're like, it's funny to me. This guy here to my right is the founder of the Billionaires Book Club. If you read a book, run your bag up. It's on IG, Billy Book Club. Been running it for like 5 years at this point. I think you're the co-owner of Only in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Your father, you're a teacher, school teacher,
Yeah.
graduate of the Southern Law Center.
Yes.
You're a foodie because you
Yes.
like to cook,
Yes. And eat.
and a Jeopardy enthusiast.
Yes.
We'll get into that too. My dog, Devin Fields. Appreciate you pulling up, man.
So, bro.
Hopefully the intro was good enough.
Now
for
the
you.
intro solid. I'm gonna add one thing.
What you got?
To the other guests that had come on before me, I want you guys to know it. Don't be jealous. Reed told me before this even happened, he wanted me to be the first guest.
Yeah.
It just never worked out that way. But so we're gonna act like this episode 1.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Ironically enough, this is episode 7.
Yeah.
So
7 is a good number.
7 is a good number.
Completion.
Yeah.
17 a better number.
Yeah.
So you're going episode 1, put the 1 in front of 7.
Yeah.
Episode 7. We'll drop in the 17th episode. The next episode will be 8.
Speaking of 17, you are a Holly Grove representative.
Yeah.
To the fullest.
Yeah, and it's funny you play the video because like that energy that he had for the South, that's the energy I got for Holly Grove. It's like I'm very proud of where I'm from. Like I have generations of family from that neighborhood. My mom and dad still stay there. My grandpa stay around our corner from me. So we are 17th family. Like so it means a lot to me.
I mean, it's funny. Like that's like one of the parts that I had here. I'm gonna just talk about family. Like your family is super important to you.
Most important, yeah.
Yeah, like I shot your daughter's christening.
Yeah.
I mean, at the house, which was everybody just chilling,
Yeah.
eating some food, the food was fire.
Yeah.
Drink was fire. The vibes was cool. Like,
of course.
And you can tell just by the way, like, people greet people they've never seen before. And this is how, like, they act just like you do, like in a very different way.
Yeah, we big on the whole like Southern hospitality thing. I mean, that's just how I was raised. Like we like to entertain people. If you invite somebody to a party, like they shouldn't have to lift a hand or a finger. Like everything's supposed to be provided for them. But also, it's just like it's the old school way of doing things. It's just like it's not so curated. Like the christening, like I could have did way more.
Yeah.
But I'm big on like now, especially with the little one, it's just like letting the moments just happen and not forcing them. So
Yeah.
I want to go back to just like everybody just pull up.
Yeah, no, and it was like in the backyard, we all cool, chilling,
Yeah.
like laughing jokes.
Yeah, it was a beautiful
And-
situation.
Yeah, and I'm just like, understanding the ambiance, like just how people interact with other people, and it just seemed genuine. It didn't seem forced.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell, like, even your daddy's persona, like, dude's a big joker.
Yeah, that's the big 17, the biggest 17. Like it's just that stuff he instilled in me. Just be a good person. It's like you go further, just being nice. It's just nice to be nice. That's just something I live by. It's nice to be nice.
Oh, for sure. And I that kind of segues to my other point. Is like one of the first moments I met you. I don't think you actually remember it.
So I was thinking about that on the way over here. Like, so I know what the first moment that I can remember that like cemented our relationship. Now I don't know what led up to that even happening. Like, so I don't know. So I don't know if you want to tell your story first. I'll tell mine, but I know how I remember our first interaction.
I'm gonna let you tell it. I'm gonna let you tell your part.
So this is like LSU days. This had to be like 2010, maybe
Yeah.
2010. So I was a sophomore. I say 5 was a freshman.
Yeah.
Um, I was big on the shoes then. I still am now, but way bigger
Yeah.
than. And I was always on the hunt for shoes in any form of fashion. And in those days, like you had a plug at a store that was better. It was easier. But Reed was working at Foot Locker at the time, and it was a pair of shoes that I wanted. And I don't know how somebody told me just to highlight him about it, but I did, and I copped. And
Yeah.
from that point on, was just like he was just a man of his word. Like I like when people say they're gonna do something, they do it. So he said what he was gonna do. He did it. It went smoothly. I got the shoes. Success. So that's really how I remember meeting Reed.
So I'm gonna tell you a little deeper part of that story. This is like I met you before, but like I went to your house. It was actually my birthday.
Okay.
This is actually 2011, essentially like second semester,
Okay.
right? So, and my birthday's in January. So, Jaron Price.
Probably another shoe enthusiast.
So me and
Michael Jarrett.
so me and Jaron got cool through like just hooping and stuff. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was my birthday. He was like, "Man, let's do something." I was like, "Man, it's like a Wednesday or something like that, right, bro? It's all good." He's like, "Nah, man, let's go pull on Devin." Like, I was all right, bet. Like it's whatever. I ain't never been to Devin house, so we just go to your apartment. Cool, you let me in, and we just chilling. I think we chilled for like 2 hours.
Hours.
Yeah, and we just started talking. And I was just started working at Foot Locker, and the conversation.
And that's how it happened. Yes, I can't remember. Yeah, because what happened at the house that day probably was a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just type of person, like, bro, like I like to mess with everybody until I have a reason not to.
Yeah, you told me something. I had on some loons, some SBs.
Oh yes, I had them too. I still have them SBs. Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, okay, that's a nice pickup." Just
because
like,
it wasn't hype. It wasn't super hype shoe at that time. It was just a dope shoe. Like it had a lot going on with the shoe in itself. I like the colors. But yeah, that was a dope shoe. And I like people that don't always buy the hype.
I appreciate that. I love the shoe. I was like, all right, this is a nice color. It's not like a loud color, but yet,
yeah, that was a hard shoe.
Yeah,
that was a hard shoe.
And I think you were it's funny. You were designing y'all's
jerseys for
the
league.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, y'all getting jerseys? That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. And once you told me about like how you had to go through everything to do it, I was like, wait, you paying for all this?
Yeah, bro. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to take the story of the pie like to another direction. Cool. It's like I lived on the computer as a kid type situation. Like I was like not just on the computer, but like into books, like into documentaries and stuff. So that was around the time they had dropped this like doc about it might have not been about Rucker in general, but it was just something like it was about the blackout. It was a year that Hov was supposed to play Terror Squad or whatever.
That's so crazy.
And I was like, man, that's the feeling I want to bring to the rec. Like I want to have our team have jerseys because that's gonna be hard. Like nobody did that shit. And I just want to be on the record and say nobody did that LSU rec for us. I paid for the jerseys. We had jerseys just because I wanted to have jerseys. And I wasn't even a player.
He wasn't.
I wasn't even a player.
That's the crazy part. And I actually thought about that game that you're referring to, the blackout game, because our team was supposed to play y'all's team.
And it was like a blackout situation.
And we never got to play y'all.
Yeah, because I can give credit. Y'all won. I think y'all won the championship. We got knocked out the round before that, and y'all won. So it's crazy because like a little rival on campus behind it too. Yeah, but it's like, but it was love because the black LSU community is smaller than itself. So it was fun to have that rivalry, but we still was able. It
was cool.
It was never like it never went too far left.
No, I think
it was just the right amount of like rivalry.
Almost, I think that's a perfect word because I think most people misunderstand the word rivalry. Like like okay, it's rambunctious, but it's respect in there too.
Yeah,
like
a lot of respect. A lot of respect because, like I said, the LSU community is small, black community is small, so it's like we couldn't have a team with everybody. Like in a perfect world, I would have had a team with everybody that I liked the LSU or I rock with, but that wasn't the case. We had limits on that, so that would made it like even better because, truthfully, we were happy to see y'all win opposed to our like other color skin counterparts.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was like that was hard.
I really wish that game would have happened because
and we tried to even set it up like after like on some like let's just still make it happen, but that just never panned out either. Now we probably couldn't do that. Like half of the players
nah, for sure
broke up bodies, but that was a fun time, bro. LSU days was legendary.
Speaking of school, you take school pretty seriously.
Very serious, the most serious. Like it's the foundation for everything for me. Like going back to my family, my dad is college educated, my mom college educated, my grandpa college educated. So just to think that's more generations than most black people, and like I do take pride in that. So growing up, I didn't even feel like I had an option besides to do that. Now looking back now, I'm like maybe I would have went another path or like tried to do something else besides school, but I really didn't see no other option because I saw that it worked for my family. It's like I said, like you see something that's working and like this actually works. My parents went to school, my grandparents went to school, they're successful, they living comfortably, like not rich at all, but like comfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah, school is very important and I take pride in that.
It's when I was reading this, when I was just kind of just thinking about you, bro, the word that actually popped up in my head is like a researcher. Like research is probably
Yeah.
like your thing.
And it's not even just researching, bro. It's just like I think I like just to hold on to stuff. So even before it was like researching things for just like knowledge, it was like I'm watching MTV, I'm watching BET, I'm watching World Star, I'm watching YouTube, I'm watching whatever it is where information is at. I'm just watching it just
Yeah.
because that's appealing to me. Like I just like to just know something that somebody else didn't know. Like I feel like it's just good to add to a conversation.
Yeah, you a human encyclopedia. That's what I like to refer to you as.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a compliment
I mean,
because
if it goes from like culture to, let's just say books to
to shoes,
just
to
yeah,
fashion, to everything, it just. But I think growing up, I just always like to. My parents gave me the freedom. Like, of course, school is school. You gotta, do that. But like, they gave me the freedom to create the life that I wanted for myself. So now, as an adult, even like progressing to become an adult, like that's just how I crafted my life. I said, I don't see why I have to pick to be into shoes and be into school. I could do both.
yeah,
Like I don't see why I can't be into reading and be into trap music. Like I
yeah,
never saw like that you couldn't do it. And also I benefited from going to like a majority white school from kindergarten to eighth grade. But every day I leave school, I'm going back to Holly Grove. So it's like not that I was living a double life, but I just what I was exposed to at a young age was different than most of my neighbors. I got to see how the other side of people live, like in a real intimate level, going to Lakeview, going to Garden District, like where we are right now, going to their houses, seeing people with pools, and not even like saying like, "Oh, this is so amazing." It's just like this is how they live it.
yeah.
Because when you're younger, they don't even know that.
They living better than
Yeah,
you.
they just like this is how we live. And so,
Yeah,
and when you kids, it's very innocent, and it's like it's kind of almost ignorant because we just don't, not even a negative way, but we just don't know
yeah.
that it's reasons behind this. So I never, so going through life, I always felt like I could just do whatever that appealed to me
People misconstrue that word ignorant. Ignorant is just not
and
knowing.
not knowing.
That's nothing wrong with not knowing.
Yeah, that's why,
Yeah,
like I said, the ignorance is bliss thing is like that's a great statement because like once like the blinds are lifted and shit is you see what it is, it's not always what it seems.
yeah. I would rather be ignorant than dumb
No facts.
because I just didn't know, and
Yeah,
that's okay. But now that I do know, I'm just not going to be dumb and
yeah, and
repeat the
through your
same.
ignorance you can learn.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the point. Like I'm just constantly just trying to learn. And I don't look at like my schools that I went to growing up, they didn't make learning seem like it was a task. Like learning really was fun.
yeah.
So I just look at researching and things like that in completely different nature than most people. It don't seem like a chore to me. Like I was
Mm,
able to do the school thing. Like when I went to LSU, I knew I'm going to finish school. No matter what I do outside of like school,
yeah.
I'm going to finish school on time. And the same thing will happen with law school. I was like, I'm just one of those people. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Like I don't care what the road look like, but I'm gonna just do it.
And I think that's kind of why our paths kind of cross because, like you, I went to a predominantly like white school growing up, but like I would go to my grandmother's house, which is
With all your cousins,
is
and it's
like
different.
how that's why when people bring up like John Morant, like oh man, he was in a affluent neighborhood. He grew up, his family had a house, they had a backyard, they had basketball courts. I'm like, what do you think his family is?
Yeah, and then it's just like that's true too. And it could be both ways. Like the people who's like saying that John Moran is pretending to be a way could
Yeah,
be right, and the people who saying like no, this how he is could be right. Like we really don't know this
yeah,
person. But the thing about life is like you just got to give people grace and just like let them do them. Like
yeah.
really, like it don't really bother me.
I just find it fun. I'm like, bro, you have no idea where somebody comes
When people
from.
go through what
Yeah,
their parents went through to get to where they at, like you know what I mean. Like my parents probably could have moved us out and went to another place, but it's like I said, my neighborhood is very important to my family. Like that's it's really big. Like I can't really say that enough. Like being from Holly Grove is like I really take pride and I lead with that a lot of times. Like when I'm from when people ask me where I'm from, I always say like New Orleans, but I make it a point to emphasize Holly Grove. And it's crazy because of course we know Lil Wayne from Holly Grove. So when I say that, it's like it's even another badge of honor because people really do know that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like in the grand scheme of things, there's like small neighborhoods all over the world. People might not know those neighborhoods, like, but the fact that I have somebody like that's the biggest, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I think more people need to, especially specifically here in New Orleans, although they do take pride in their neighborhood, it's like a different type of pride that I think you're referring to.
Yeah, it is, but it's like it was like that before Katrina. Like Katrina changed it all because people were dislocated. So now it's like the neighborhoods you want to hang on to them and hold on to that, but it's like the people is what make the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So if the people are not there, like you can't be the only person that's like trying to wave this flag. It's just you need numbers. Like anything you do in life, you need numbers. You can't do it by yourself. So luckily, like I said, my dad held on to the property. My grandpa held on to the property. We got a few properties in Holly Grove. It's just and Holly Grove got a lot of people that own their houses. So it's just of course it's changing too, like any other neighborhood in New Orleans, but like I make sure and we make sure as a family, like we not letting go. We got going on is like we gonna keep pushing that, like for sure.
All right. Well, you talk about Holly Grove and you say you leave with New Orleans. Why is New Orleans like super important to you as well? Like,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. 'Cause of course that's where I'm from, but
yeah,
the importance of New Orleans is no different than the importance of Baton Rouge to me.
yeah,
It's like these are two cities that looking back at it, like now that I'm back in New Orleans post college days, but at one point I lived in both of those cities for equal like half of my life. So when I was like 21, I had been in New Orleans for like that long and been in BR for that long. Like
yeah,
I've been like, we're not 21, like maybe like 25 or something like that, 27. But I was been in both cities for so long. So it's like I have much respect for both cities because like it helped me become the person that I am. Like New Orleans provided me with the foundation to be the person that I am now, but BR is where I became a man.
yeah.
So it's like I can't even say that I have more love for New Orleans than I have for Baton Rouge. Like I do because like that's where I'm from. So the foundation is there, but BR is like very pivotal for me. Like so much change in that time, so much.
You talk about BR, bro. You went to law school.
I
Now,
did, I did.
shout out to Trey Saint Marin.
My boy Trey,
Shout out to Trey.
my
Well,
class, yeah,
I went to
my
high school
boy.
with Trey, played basketball with Trey. You ended up beating Trey at law school.
That's my boy. Great dude. Like it's funny because when I went to law school, it was like just I don't want to say this, but it's like it was just something to do. Like I was finished with undergrad. I took a year off and I was like, what other things could I do? Like I knew like I'm good at school, so I could do this if I wanted to go to school. And it just like my parents like asked me like what I'm about to do, jobs, and like I'm still working like at a call center at this point in time. So it's like it's not even a real job, it's mostly like a gig. So it's like how long I'm gonna just be gigging. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to law school. Like I got the background for this. I'm gonna take this test, the LSAT. I'm gonna get the score I need to get, and I'm gonna go. So I took the LSAT the first time. I got the score I need to get. I applied to LSU. I applied to Southern. I'm like, I'm not leaving BR. So these are two schools. I get into both schools. Southern offered me more money to go. I hate to make it seem like it's a contract negotiation, but
But it
more
is.
scholarship money. So I'm like, I'm gonna go there because I left LSU with no debt at all. So I'm like, if I'm going to take on debt, I'm trying to do this in this way that make most sense. So like the cheapest way possible. Southern offered me more money. That's where I go. I meet Trey. But before I get to how I meet Trey, it's like I never had been to Southern Law School. I had never been to any law school. I never knew what law school was like. All I knew was you need to take the LSAT. So my first day of school, I'm not even knowing like what to even expect. I haven't talked to nobody about law school, nothing like that. I'm going to law school completely blind. Um, so I'm thinking about how college was. Like, LSU, we might go to class in pajamas some days.
Yeah.
I'm not knowing that like law school people like gonna take this more serious. I'm thinking like it's the first day of school, like everybody's about to just show up.
Just pull up.
Man, but also I'm not even really like LSU and Southern are completely different. Like, like people at Southern get fresh for class. And I salute that too, because I like the people that get fresh. But at LSU, you may have days you may decide to get fresh, but for the most part, you just showing up. So I kind of just show up. Like I just put on, like I remember I had like some black cement fours on.
Solid.
At this point in time, I was like going crazy with Lacoste. So I just had a black Lacoste polo and like some cargos. Uh, I show up. I'm thinking I'm decent. Like I got a collar shirt on. Like I'm saying it's law school. I should at least wear a collar shirt. I'm thinking like I'm going to a Kappa party or something. Like, I should just wear a collar shirt. So I show up, man. Dudes is in like 3-piece suits. Girls is in like power suits, like doing the arms folded stands, dresses. I'm like, man, like I gotta be in the wrong place. Like this gotta be the seniors. Like I'm not even knowing like y'all law schools go like 1L2. I'm just like thinking like, oh, this gotta be the seniors. I'm not even knowing the terminology of law school at this point. So the only other person that was like kind of like on my vibe was Trey. Like he had like kind of like on like the Caucasian like version of what I had on. Like he had like some low top Crocs on.
Shout out to Trey, bro.
Like he might have had on actually like some Sissucker shorts and like a
for sure.
Like maybe some type of polo shirt. I don't even know, but he was very casual, but like fresh nonetheless to me, but very casual, like how I was. And that's kind of how we met. He like, man, you got the fours on, that's dope. I'm like, yeah, bro, like you got the Sissucker on, that's dope. And it was just like we just bonded off of that because we both kind of like at the same point of our life, I felt like.
Yeah.
And we was like, at least it's somebody I could go on this journey with like this, similar minded to me. And he ended up being one of my best friends. And then it come out that he know you, he know D. It was just a lot. And it was just like, man, like I keep meeting people from this Ponchatoula Hammond area and they're good people. So like, I like, what are the odds of this? Like at every level of school, and I met somebody and like all of these people are still in my life, whether it's from you. Like I don't talk to Trey as much because like he into his career. So, but I'm sure if I hit him up, it's gonna be the same thing.
And I feel the same way. Like, and I graduated high school. I probably didn't talk to him until you see him. It's like it's still all love.
Good dude, man. Like good dude. Like it was funny because it's like the teachers would like pick on us, and we ended up being in the same section. And I mean, like we go to all the same classes together. So that was my dog, and it's like his name was like he had a very like regal name. Like his last name was like Fitzhugh Saint Romain. Like, bro, your name is like. I like your name doesn't match how you act. Like I'm thinking like when I first heard his name, I'm like, bro, he gotta be a prick. But then he ended up being like, I'm Phil, so he was like right next to each other all the time. Yeah. So he was a cool dude. Trey, my boy, man. Trey, my boy.
Funny story. Trey, again, we was on the basketball team for like 3 years together, and we would go to his house before games.
Right.
Like you meet his parents, super
cool people.
Like welcome you in their house. They're not even there half the time, right? And just like, all right, like, we trust y'all enough, like
to do that thing, right?
And it was always love. You see them today, they remember you, they speak to you.
Very good people, man. Trey is a good dude. I could tell he had a good foundation. It's like, and it was funny because a lot of our black classmates would be from places like Shreveport, Alexandria, and I don't know, like me not being from them places, I don't know how the interaction or the race relations is between black and white people. It's like they used to be kind of like put off by the fact that like I would want to hang out with them over him. And it was like, it's not even a race thing. This is somebody like he into shoes, he into music. I like, bro, like it ain't that deep to me. Like it ain't that deep to me. It can be, but in that situation, it wasn't.
It wasn't. And I think he allows like things to just kind of happen organically. Like you don't rush.
He didn't force it. Like he never like came on like too strong. Like it was just always like, and it's funny because it's like a lot of relationships that I developed that last, it's always built off of the shoes.
Yeah,
it's always the shoes. It's always the shoes. It's crazy.
That might be the title of this episode.
It's always the shoes. No lie, bro. Like everybody that I can say that's like close in my life as a friend, it's always through shoes, bro.
And that's
always through shoes.
I think shoes, especially like let's take it back 10 years ago, were like the equivalent of like a conversation starter, right? Like
bro.
Easily relationships.
And I guess still now, but it's just like back then it was more like, I hate to use the word community, but it was because it was like it was still like counterculture. It wasn't pop culture just yet. So like people didn't understand like waiting in line for shoes. People didn't understand like standing in line for hours overnight for shoes, in the rain for shoes, going to other cities for shoes. People was like, that's crazy, that's madness. So now that it's like it's pop culture, it's not the same. It's easier. Like you can just get on StockX or GOAT, or you can just hope that you hit on Sneakers app. That took away like the fun from me because like you say, it's research. Back then you had to figure out what store was going to get the shoes, when, how much, who do you need to know to try to even get the shoes, when was the release going to be, when the lineup was going to be. Like we went deep with that stuff, bro.
Nike talk.
Bro, Nike Talk days was different. I was buying shoes on Nike Talk, bro. This is before PayPal days. I was sending people money orders and on good faith.
On good faith, yeah. Like there was no.
Yeah, so it was just different, bro. I got some of my most like treasured heat still to this day off of Nike Talk, off of money orders.
Zach, my cousin Zach, shout out to Zach. Zach was the first person I ever seen on Nike Talk. I had no idea what.
And that's crazy because it's like I never have been able to develop a relationship with your cousin like how we have.
Yeah.
But I have an immense level of respect for him because and how he conducts himself and like how he treat the whole sneaker thing. I see how I used to be, and I can see that he is genuine to the culture of it.
I think y'all would like.
I feel it would be good friends.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah. Like you could talk. Really, Zach's probably more close than Trey than I am.
And it's I could imagine that because dude, a very fashionable person, and it's crazy because off the strength of you, like I hit him up the other day, like asking about like a vintage Malcolm X shirt, and he like instantly found it for me. So it's just like
you talk about research. That motherfucker?
No, I could tell, bro. Like, cause like I said, he was instant with it too, bro. So it's like,
yeah.
But I felt like he was so adamant to do it for me because of you, and that's what like.
That's what builds community.
The relationships, and it's funny because today for the book club, I posted something about like don't like rush and to do what's urgent and forget what's important. And it's like part of that post was like, what's important is like family. What's important is relationships. What's important is love. And it's like that's the most important thing. Like, of course, we're gonna get money, we're gonna spend money. Like that's gonna come. They're not gonna stop printing it. Like that's not a big deal. But it's like you can't fake or like reprint more love. Like it's a finite thing. Like what I mean. Like when your people die, your friends die, or they gone. They gone. You can't get that back. So while you do have them, you gotta really realize that's the most important thing. Because some of my best times was LSU days when we didn't have money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like those things that I always remember, and the people that I was with when we didn't have money are people now that I could really rely on for real things. So that's why I feel like I put that over everything. Like that's why when you came over, like I didn't mind like paying for everything for everybody. Like, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't about like me trying to flex or anything. It was just more so like, nah, bro. If I'm the one that got it, then we all gonna have it. Like, that's how we grew up. Like, if we got $1, we went to the candy lady. We gonna bust this $1 down as much as possible,
bro. I wish I wish neighborhoods still had like real candy ladies where you had the cookies in the little bag.
Everything, bro, just frozen cups. Like that's another debate, like what you call it from your city, but frozen cups, whatever. It's just like, bro, like that sense of community, that sense of like being a part of something is gone. But it's like it's because that displacement, like people that's from the Magnolia might be staying in Gentilly now or in the East or the West Bank. So now it's like you like almost like a real refugee in a sense, like you in a foreign land. Like you don't know the rules. How these people living over here?
See, and I think even like to the neighborhood part, I think New Orleans just needs a rebirth, and I mean that wholeheartedly.
I feel you, but it's like it's crazy because it is kind of going through a rebirth, but it's like the people who are pushing this New Orleans aren't the people that I'm not gonna say people that should, because the people that should do it, the people that's doing, like I'm a firm believer if you want to do something, you got to do it. That's kind of how I ended up like teaching. Like I didn't have to be a teacher. It was just more so like I kept finding myself complaining about the state of education, about how things are, and I was like, what more could I do than to really get into the situation, like and be like present. So that's kind of how that happened.
I mean, to be honest with you, that's kind of where I was leading. The fact that you graduated from law school, a very, very difficult thing to do. I mean, for most people, right? Like, there's people that don't.
Difficult. It's a hard thing. No, so I ain't gonna lie to you, for everybody, bro. It's not a easy thing. So that's why I salute anybody that go to law school. Anybody that do any type of schooling, period, I salute them because it's not easy. When you have life in this life, and bro, school is like it don't seem like a priority, but like for people that persevere and do that, I respect them immensely. Like, why graduation season is probably my favorite time of the year over anything, even more than my birthday. I love graduation season. Like, I love to see people graduate.
Also,
I mean, like I said, I know it. Like, you know how like getting paid in full, bro. It's like, you know how I mentioned, like, bro, I feel like one of them ball playing niggas. It's like that's how I feel about school because I know that I did it at a high level. Like, I'll never perpetrate like, oh yeah, bro, I was the best athlete, this or that. But I know, like, when it comes to school, bro, I was one of the best. So it's like, I feel like when I see like people graduating, like doing like big things, it's like I feel like people at the Hall of Fame or like at the Heisman ceremony, like, bro, we all have done this, and now like you doing this, so now welcome to this club. Especially for black people, because even still now, some people always say like I'm the first generation of my family to do this. So like, yeah, that's still happening now.
Yeah.
So that's like major to me. Like, so I love to see that. 'Cause I know what it take. I know like you be down bad in college a lot of times, bro. Like you know how it
Yeah.
is. Like so to make it through that, that's not easy. So I always salute anybody that do it or like complete it.
I think we should change our mentality about how we look at school. As far as it is a great accomplishment when you graduate, but it
Yeah.
feels like so like now it's like you did it. Sometimes like
Well, I mean, it's crazy because that's just the evolution of things. So at one point in time, having a high school diploma, you could go get a good career and like live your life.
yeah,
Then it turned into you need an undergrad degree.
yeah.
Now it's like you gotta get a master's, you gotta go to some type of secondary school. So it's like as the barriers of entry get lower and lower, and we have this thing that become more and more concentrated and saturated, it's like it's not really a big. It is like in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal because companies are looking at it like, bro, it's a million of y'all just graduated. Like, what's special about that?
Yeah.
Like at one point it was special, but now it's like what that's why it's so important to have relationships because like what else do you have besides this piece of paper?
I think that's the thing that I learned about college the most. The relationships that I built while I was there, the ability to talk to multicultural people and have
Bro,
an understanding of like what they do
it's
and what I
huge.
do
It's
is
huge, bro. It's huge. Like that gets you indoors, bro, because the diploma is just like we all I'm not saying we all have it, but it's like this is an unprecedented time where it's like each of us in our circle of friends, but we could probably point to 20 to maybe even up to 100 people that we know that graduated from college.
yeah.
Our parents didn't live in that world. Our grandparents definitely didn't live in that world. So it's like, if just in our circle of friends we have this many college degrees, really, what's the value of that, bro? It's just like supply and demand. It's a never ending supply of degree people, and it's not enough jobs.
Okay, we said about having an undergrad. Bro, you have a law degree.
Yeah, bro. But it's like so.
I'm not saying like it's wrong. No,
No,
like
no, no,
you have an opportunity to
no,
be a
no.
lawyer,
Facts,
and
facts.
you like no, I'm gonna go be a teacher.
Well, it didn't end up that. It wasn't just direct like that, but it was like a real journey to get to this point. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure.
so of course, like right out of law school, like I'm preparing for that career, bro. But to be honest with you, and this kind of go back to like me just doing what seemed right. Like it felt like law school was the right thing to do. Like who's gonna be mad if you're a lawyer? Like who wants to say that about that? So I was like, I'm gonna just do this, but I never really had the passion for that. And when I got to law school and saw my classmates and like how passionate they were about like knowing about old professors and like just being just geeked out on the whole thing. And like I be geeked out about a lot of things, but I wasn't really never geeked out about being in law school. Just like, bro, I'm just in school again.
Yeah.
And looking back, like I wish I would have took it not more seriously. I wish I would have took like more of that approach of like being geeked out about it because maybe things would have went different. But I'm satisfied with how it went because I finished. Like my thing with me is like if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So if I started, I'm gonna finish it. So I finished it, and right after I started doing things in the legal field. Like, I worked in the legal field for like maybe like 3 to 4 years, maybe, and it was cool, but it wasn't fulfilling. And that's when the O and no thing come up. I go head first into that. Me and some of my best friends, we go head first into that. Like I dive into it, like I drop everything. I'm doing that now. And in the process of that, that's was going good, and it still is going good. But it's more so like also I didn't feel as fulfilled as I could. And I get a call from my best friend, mom. Once again, relationships. This somebody I knew since kindergarten. My best friend Devin. His mom called me like, um, we in need of substitutes, like a dire need of subs. It pay like da 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 a day. You could just like make your own schedule. You can come 5 days a week. You can come one day a week. It's whatever you want to do. But we need subs. So I'm like, you know what? I got the time. I do it. And literally, like the first day, just seeing how, not even just like the young black boys, how they reacted to me, it was like gave me a positive feeling because it was like, bro, like we never really seen
Yeah.
a black male teacher or black male anything, like, you know what I mean, like besides like custodians, they have an IT dude, he's black, but other than that it's not really many black males. So to see me, and also like to see me
Yeah.
like I'm different, I'm not like so uptight. They're like, bro, like, are you gonna be come back every day? I'm like, I don't know.
Also, you
It's
talk
everything
about
that come with it. Yeah, it's everything that come with it, bro. It's just like they see themselves in me and I saw myself in them. And I always say, like, I think that's why I gravitated towards school things so much because I really had good teachers. Like, I could think back that I had teachers that really had an impact on my life to the point where I still think about some of the rules they had in their class or lessons they instilled in me to this day from my teachers. My teachers were just as pivotal in my life as my parents, I
yeah.
would say. So when I had the opportunity, I was just doing the sub, I was doing the sub thing, and then the principal was just like, man, you here every day, like you on time, even though you don't have to be on time. She was like, well, she like, would you be interested in doing this like full time? I'm like, yeah, I didn't even question, like, sure, because out of all the jobs I had in my life, that was the first job where I felt like my skill set was being like used to its maximum like ability. And I felt like it was pushing me more to even be like more nurturing in a way I never had been. And it was crazy because all that coincided with like my girlfriend getting pregnant and then like the baby being here. So it's like I had like a year worth of practice to deal with other people, kids at different age levels, like from kindergarten to 8th grade. Then like the baby comes, like I understand, like, okay, cool. This level of nurturing, I have to apply this to like my personal life now. So it was like kind of perfect, bro.
You just keep stealing, all the points that I have listed. But
Bro, I'm
even
a good podcaster because it's like I watch a lot of podcasts, so I kind of like I don't want to steal your thunder, but
no, 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 it's cool.
but
It's
it's like
cool. The story is about you. This ain't even about me.
yeah,
But I just think it's funny, like you understand like how it segues into, bro, you was a teacher now, you was a substitute, you get a full-time job, you're dealing with kids. And also I like to bring up, I'm pretty sure they saw what you were wearing.
yeah, bro. So initially, bro, I was taking it easy. Like I had one of this New Balance run. Like I had like a bunch of 990s and like 993s,
Yeah.
like 200 2Rs and stuff like that. So, but they're not even like New Balance kind of had like this resurgence. So
Yeah.
they're like, oh, he got New Balance, so it's like I don't really know like how far he could go like with this. But the New Balance thing was impressed with it, but it was like not so impressed, like because New Balance is still like dad shoes. To them, it's like they know that it's a cool shoe, but they're not really knowing
What's the age group?
so I sub between like kindergarten and 8th grade at that point.
Okay.
But when as a teacher, I do 6th and 7th grade, but I had the most interaction with middle school. So let's just say 6th to 8th grade.
Okay.
So they like, oh, Mr. Devin coming through New Balance. That's kind of cool, but it's like we don't really know. And I would feel the same way because New Balance is like it's
Did they
not a bad shoe, but when you talk about the upper echelon of shoes, like we don't really always consider it, especially kids. I
yeah.
don't get it twisted. They got some very crazy New Balances like Grail status, but the kids don't really know that.
Nah.
So I'm
Did
wearing New Balance. I'm wearing New Balance, wearing the polos, I'm wearing the pearl shirts. What's crazy is they kind of took more to the pearl shirts because like they didn't even really know what that was. They were just like,
have that in my notes too, but it's okay.
they're like, Mr. Devin, you wearing like these fake polo shirts. And I was like, bro, like, who had polo shirt with a crawfish on? I'm like, bro, I like not to flex on y'all, like just go ask your parents. Like go ask your parents or just Google it. So when they find it, like, oh, Mr. D, like those shirts kind of expensive. I'm like, yeah, bro, like Mr. D have another life outside of school. So one Friday is like a dress down day. Like Fridays we go with jeans and stuff. So one particular Friday said, I'm gonna pull something out. Like they not even really expect this. So I go light, in my opinion, I go light. I pull out a pair of braids, but like not new braids. Like this might be like
yeah.
maybe like 2012 or 13 or something like that. So I wear them. They're like, oh, Mr. D got on the ones. Like, and like the kids were like wear mids and stuff. So when I'm wearing the braids, like how you even could get there? Like, what you
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I keep telling y'all, like, I got life outside of school. But then slowly I just start busting their head. Like I wore the skunks one day. One day I wear like do the right thing threes. I come back like with like all types of stuff, bro. Like I was just wearing like Barclays. I was just wearing everything. Then like I had fell off of shoes for so long, I hadn't been copping, so I'm really going in the closet.
Yeah.
But then like they joked out at me because a lot of shoes I'm wearing to school is falling apart on me too.
Yeah. So you don't.
So it's like it was just crazy, bro. But they had mad respect for me. Once I saw that my sneaker collection went crazy, they wanted me to actually start a sneaker club at the school. Like,
That'd be fire.
yeah, but I just didn't know like how to approach it. Like, because at that point I was still like trying to figure out my role to be the best teacher I could be. So I didn't want my whole stick to just to be he just a cool teacher.
Yeah.
Like I wanted him to really feel like he the cool teacher, but he really gonna make you do your work. That's what it kind of morphed into. It was like I drew them in with the gear, but then like once they saw like that, oh, this is not just somebody that just hit a look cool. He really
Yeah.
it's like they kind of saw like I was a nerd. So there'll be times when we have downtime, like lunch or whatever. And I was one of those teachers where even if it wasn't my lunch duty, I would go to lunch duty.
Yeah.
I would just go.
I understand.
So I'll have my iPad with me and I'm always reading. So like, man, what you reading? Like, what you reading? It's like you always read. I'm like, bro, like I got a book club, bro. So they're like, what? Like you really read for fun? Like who does that? So I'm really showing them like it could be both ways. You don't really gotta be one way. And then they had students that really was super into the reading that wasn't into the shoes. But it was like, Mr. D actually do read too. So it was like it was kind of bridging the gap between these two like sides of the kids, and they saw like you really could be in the middle if you want, or you could be at either end of the spectrum too. It's not a bad thing. But yeah, bro, that was probably just that has been the most rewarding thing besides becoming a dad, bro. Being a teacher probably was the best thing that God could have blessed me with because I had no plans to ever do that. No plans. I never even thought about being a teacher ever in my life. Never was a dream job. Never was like, and it never was something I said I won't do, but it was just never something I thought about.
Yeah.
So it was crazy that it worked out that way.
You talk about, you're reading a lot. I have intel that tells me when you worked at the call center, there was no day that you didn't have a book on you.
No, that's a fact, bro. So when so rewind to the law school stuff, we had to take the LSAT. So I said, if I'm gonna take this test, let me at least take a prep course because I have no idea what this even is about. Like, like I didn't even know, like, bro, I was just so like looking back at this, it was the level of like blindness was kind of disrespectful because I would see a lot of my classmates being like, bro, I took the LSAT like 5 times, bro. Like I applied to law school like 6 different times. I'm like, bro,
One and done.
I woke up, bro. I just woke up and like, but like I say, bro, I looked at anything dealing with tests, school. I felt like I was a Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan level type of player when it came to school. That's how I felt. Like I applied that like mentality to school. So I when I do the LSAT prep class, the teacher, his stat line was crazy because he was like, bro, I scored a perfect score on my first time. Ooh. So I'm like, whatever dude's saying, I'm gonna take heed because obviously whatever his game plan is, it worked. Yeah. I'm a firm believer of like just follow the game plan, bro. Yeah. So the first thing he said was, if you don't read books, you need to read books because reading books is the best way to retain knowledge, and it's the best way like to help your brain muscle memory strengthen to remember stuff. And like half of the battle is just like for the LSAT or any test is memorization. Like when you're taking a test, they're not really asking you to do like practical things. They just really want you to give the answer. So that means like it's a routine, like it's a process and a plan. You can really study, remember this, and you can give the answer. So you're like, yeah, bro, you should read books. So at that point, the first thing I did, I go to my house, I hop on Amazon, and I just ordered like 10 books. But at this point, though, I ordered 10 books that I knew that I would read. So it was very like simple books, but it was all on subject matters that I would be interested in. Like one of the books was Shoe Dog, Phil Knight.
Shout out to Phil Knight.
That's one of the best books I've still ever read. I got that because, of course, it's Nike. I buy Game Over by AZ Faison. That's like the true story of the Paid in Full. So it's like the real story of Paid in Full. I buy a book about BMF. I bought a book by Iceberg Slim Pimp. Yeah. Because I watched a documentary on Pimp, and like I remember them saying like the book was like iconic. So I buy that. I didn't even have to buy Malcolm X's autobiography because my dad gave me a copy of that when I went to college. He was like, "You're gonna read this at some point in your life, it's gonna change your life." And I just never knew when I was gonna read it, but at that point, that was probably one of the first books I read too. So when I start reading these books, I bought like a Malcolm Gladwell book because I just Googled like good books to buy. His name popped up. He a very popular author, so he popped up, and I think that was it. Maybe I can't think of what else, but I remember those books. I still have those books. From that point, I start reading the Paid in Full book first. I legitimately read that book in one day. I'm like, man, I never knew they had books that existed that
easy reads or
not even easy read that I would read, bro. Because to be honest with you,
when did you start? My bad. When did you start reading? Like when did you?
Man, that was the first point because the last book I read before that book was The Giver.
Oh,
but I have realized throughout school, you know how you find ways just to pass the test.
Yeah,
like I just knew how to pass the test.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're in school, they tell me read The Giver, The Call of the Wild, stuff like that. These are things that's not interesting to me. It's just that I'm doing it because I have to do it. The Giver was the last book that I felt like, oh, damn, this bitch is like a page turner.
Yeah.
But throughout the whole process, even through college, you know how it is, bro. It's like, it's a finesse.
Yeah.
It is a finesse. So that was the first book. So like it started around that time. I might have been like 21, maybe 21. So I've been in the reading thing like 9 years, 10 years strong.
Yeah. I always thought it was pretty interesting. Like when you talked about reading strengthens like your memory. It almost felt like a chore at times because they never gave us books that we wanted to read or
Yeah,
would
I didn't know it existed. I didn't even know it existed, bro. I didn't even know it existed. Like truthfully, I never, bro. As much as time that I'd be in the malls and this place or that place, but I never thought like to go to Barnes and Nobles. I'm not gonna sit here and be like lie and say like, oh yeah, bro. I wasn't. It took somebody telling me that was gonna help me, and in that situation, it was like it was beneficial to me. I'm like, bro, I want to pass this test. This dude got a perfect score. This makes sense.
And that's how you just kind of navigate, like,
Yeah,
this
and
pipeline of
one of the things he said was like, bro, don't pick books that you know you're not gonna read. Look up books on subject matters that you might like.
Yeah.
So initially, me reading was always just finding books about like true crime or like the mafia or something I see a movie about or true, and like this is the book that the movie is based on, like stuff like that. And as you know, as the reading thing got deeper and deeper, I started going into like more difficult reads, and because my mind was ready to take that. And I think that's one of the pieces of advice I give to everybody when they ask me about reading. Like, bro, honestly, the best advice I can give you is just pick any book that you think you may like and just read 10 minutes a day.
All right. Yeah, I mean, take that, you giving advice. Now you 2019, you start a book club. Like you start the idea of the
because it was more iterations of the book club. Like this is like the second iteration of what it was.
Yeah.
Like the first time I did it, like, I didn't really like. I wasn't ready for that, so it's like it kind of fizzled out. This time I apply like the same mindset I applied everything else. Like I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna finish it, and like with the book club, it was just more so it came about because people, as my reading started getting deeper and deeper, and I started sharing that with people. People always ask me like, "Bro, what book should I read? Like, give me some books to read." And this was around the time that, like, I guess you say the woke era started, you know? So people really wanted to become knowledgeable, like, you know, strengthen their knowledge. So I was always inclined to help people with that. But then it just got to the point where I wasn't getting anything out of that. You know what I mean? Like I felt like people asked me for books, they wouldn't get the book. I'll see them again, ask them how the book was. Oh, bro, I never copped the book. So I like ran, like I just feel like I'm hitting my head against the wall because I hate having the same conversations over and over.
Yeah.
People, it started becoming like a talking point because it is like weird to meet somebody that's like slamming 20 shots down with you, but at the same time, you going home the next day and like about to post this quote or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a crazy thing, bro. It's a crazy duality, but I was like, I'm gonna just start doing this. I'm gonna just start posting the quotes because the quotes is just like digestible things for people to just take in. Like you gotta treat adults even like kids sometimes. So if I can give people a positive quote, and not even just always positive, but just a quote a day, I feel like that could be their form of reading too.
Do you each time you post, is it a quote from a book that you're actually
bro?
reading?
There's no cheat code to this.
Okay,
So it's like, and that's how I push myself to continue to read.
Okay.
Because there are infinite amount of quotes, but you have to read the book.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I just pick a book and turn the page and like, okay, here's a quote. It don't really work that way. You got to actually read to find like actually thought provoking a good quote. So that's how it's like becomes self-serving. I have to read to get the quotes. Now, I do have like a backlog, like in my phone. I got a folder of like hundreds of quotes. But as I'm reading, I'm getting new ones. So sometimes if I'm reading a book and like I try to like post, sometimes I try to post them depending on like major events that's going on. So if I know if it's like the anniversary of somebody, death of somebody, I try to find a quote that's like kind of like even from that person or like kind of like representative of that person. And that just kind of where it's at now. But it's like it's one of those journeys that this is probably the first journey that I've taken with the book club that I really don't know where it's going to end.
I think that's cool. I think that's
it's fun for me that way. It's fun for me that way because with me not putting like a end game in it, it's still fun for me.
Yeah.
And do I want it to become something where I could make money off of it? Sure, who wouldn't want that? You know what I mean? But like right now, it's like I kind of treat it like my baby. It's like it's one of the things that's still like pure to me. Like, I don't really have to like feel like I need to monetize this. Like, of course, I drop merch every now and then, like when I want to, and when I want to do more of that. But it's like it's still about the reading. Like I like to keep the main thing the main thing. Like I don't want people to get it twisted. Like I'm just doing this just to be doing it. Like I really like to read. And this is my way of sharing that with everybody else. Like I post my shoes all the well. At one point, I used to post shoes all the time, like you know, and that was my way of sharing to the
Yeah.
shoe community or the people that didn't know, like this is what I like.
Yeah.
So this is what I like too.
Have you ever thought about writing a book?
Yeah, I actually last summer I was working on a children's book, and I kind of like reached a point of writer's block and never touched it again. People always just last week, my partner Blizzy from Loyalty Club was like, "Bro, you need to write a book. Your story just too crazy."
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just and my drunk response to him was like, "Bro, I'm not ready to do that because I'm not ready for the world to feel me just yet." And looking back at it, bro, I was drunk and like, but it's a true statement because, and I'm always fearful of being perceived the wrong way because some of my thoughts and beliefs on things is not really PC or mainstream. And that's not to knock people with opposite views of mine, but it's like I know we live in a world today where it's like people not trying to hear that shit. They're not really accepting of the other side. And like I know my story has a lot of things where it's like it crossed all sides. So it's like I don't really, I just personally felt like the world wasn't ready for that shit.
Who are you to say what the world is ready
And that's
for?
the response that people gave. That's the response people always give me. People always give me that response. But like I said, it's not so much that I do feel like the world not ready. But you're right. Who am I to say that? But it's more so I guess I can say I'm not ready because
Okay.
that's like Reed's like it's funny because
Uh,
bro, not to go back to the family thing, but it's always about family.
yeah.
Like now that my daughter here, bro, it's like I'm at a whole nother level of peace of life, bro. So it's like
Here you go. Another. There you go,
you
bro.
know what
You
I mean?
good at this, bro. You
I'm
good
just
at
saying,
this.
bro. Like I'm at another piece of life, right? I'm at another like period of peace in my life that I've never experienced, bro. And it's crazy because it's so many more things that like, I know that I have to accomplish, that I want to accomplish. Not even have that I want to accomplish, but it's like right now, I'm at a season of my life where it's like I'm not gonna say I'm taking it easy because I'm really going harder than I ever went. It just more so it's like I'm so focused on enjoying my daughters, like I just can't even think about nothing else. Like I feel like I got to get the game like with her like at least like 10 more years, and like then I can start writing my memoirs.
Let me. And that was again one of the last points I was going to make. Like, how has your daughter changed you? Like, how has that process of being a father
Man,
changed you?
it's like it's crazy because I really when I found out my girl was pregnant, I was like, what am I even going to do? Like I just felt like a total sense of just like not being ready. Like that's just the feeling I came to my head like I'm just not ready. And I was just like,
Funny thing is, you're never ready.
right, exactly. You're never ready, but it's like, but at that moment, like,
Yeah.
and at the moment of finding out, that's the feeling I felt like I'm just not ready. But as the process went along, months and months and months, like the baby is growing and growing and growing, it's like I just felt myself becoming more of the man that I always wanted to be. And I always felt like I'm gonna feel that feeling when I get the job that I really want. I'm gonna feel that feeling when I just cop the house. I'm gonna feel that feeling when I cop the car, whatever it may be. But it's not like the baby gave me that feeling of like just being able to be a provider, being like a provider on a major level. Of course, I can say that I provided myself like as a single person like a very good life, but it's like for her and for my family, it's like I feel like I go even harder. So if anything, she just made me just want to go harder. I always felt like I was a very nurturing person, but like now even more so. I always been family oriented, but now even more so. So it's like, if anything, I ain't gonna say she changed me. It's just that she made me double down on the traits that I love the most about myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. A- As we talk about, your life, well, her life, giving you new life or a different life, different perspective. I think we got to talk about one life that might have been taken away from us.
I knew this was gonna come up.
Yeah. Our relationship one takes different courses, but
Yeah.
this one in particular, I think is probably the closest. I have a, let's say, as we have it in Louisiana, like cousins, but they're really like our friends. But we just
Brothers, cousins, bro. It's
yeah,
like we grew up in the same neighborhood. Somebody, bro.
yeah.
Y'all family.
So my cousin D, ironically, his godmother is my aunt. So that's kind of why we always
It's
started
family ties, bro.
yeah. Uh he passed away a couple years ago. And before that, I mean, we knew each other then, you and I, but I think this one was always like
This
how
was
we
the cement on the relationship. Like it was always good, but like now it's like now we locked in for life for sure.
how did y'all meet?
So college days, one of my best friends went to Southeastern. Um, you know how that is, bro. Like we was taking I-10 corridor, bro. We just
Yeah.
up and from Hammond to Lafayette.
Yeah.
Just we was running. So I was always being Hammond, like for the Hammond people, they know like sugars. Like
Bro.
you know what I mean? Like so that's how they let you know how far I go back
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Hammond days. So we'll be in Hammond a lot, bro. Like, you know, if not every week, like every other week, just to go chill. And my best friend was dating this dude. Shout out to Caleb. Caleb, uh, he probably like if you say somebody's personal, bro. This dude probably the most friendly person I ever met in my life. Like good dude. But
Caleb funny though.
Exactly, but he's like good dude, bro. So nevertheless, him and D was like became best friends. So like I had been coming, I had never met D, but then like now when I come this next time, D is around, and then ever since that point that he was around, he was always around since that point. So I met D through a mutual friend, and our relationship just developed from that. And then he ended up him and his girl at the time. They ended up moving to Prairieville,
Yeah.
which I guess is like a little bit closer. I mean, maybe in the middle of Hammond, BR. Maybe. I feel like it's closer to BR. I mean, I don't know. It was close to BR. I feel like it wasn't far from BR.
And no, it's on the other side. So that's on I-10
Yeah,
Prairieville,
yeah.
like Gonzales area.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he moved there, and with that being closer to BR,
Yeah.
and like his other best friends being in Hammond, I was the next closest thing. So he'll hit me like, bro, let's hang out. I'm in the town now. Like, you know, let's link up. So of course it's always like, show, bro, pull up. So that's kind of how we started. We started being together every day. Then one day, and like I don't know where we're gonna take this story, but one day he just was like, bro, I think I won't open up a shoe store. And like if anybody that know D, bro, is like he's a very like
ambitious for sure.
Ambitious is the word. And he's a very ambitious person, bro. Like he would come up with ideas without any idea about how you gonna execute them.
No plan.
But he would just like he's the definition of like I'm diving in head first.
Yeah.
So with me being a shoe person, he's like, yeah, bro, like I'm just telling you now because like I know you're gonna be able to help me. So I'm like, yeah, bro, whatever you need, bro, I'm gonna help you. So he find a spot, he built a spot out like instantly. And he like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna be doing this like consignment thing. I'm like, what is that even? Like, what's consignment? What's that? He like, bro, I'm gonna buy people used shoes and I'm gonna sell them. I'm like, bro, like who would do that? And he was like, bro, you're gonna be the first person to do it because you got the collection. So like, I'm gonna sell my shoes and you're gonna sell your shoes. And I'm like, bro, I didn't sign up for that. Like, and he was like, bro, I'm telling you, it's gonna make sense. It's gonna work. And even if we don't sell your shoes, just bring them to the store so people could think that we all gonna sell them, and we're gonna just tell them a crazy price, and they're not gonna buy them. They're gonna just buy something else. So that's what we did, bro. It's like he was like, I can't say he was the first person in Louisiana with the resale thing, but he was very early and
to have it downtown, Baton Rouge.
But that was like the third iteration of it. Like first it was off of Perkins, then he was like, I'm gonna move to Mall, Louisiana, and that backfired. And then like I'm going downtown.
I remember that.
So just like he was taking his journey with this, but it's like, and every time a door slammed in his face, he would never let that deter him. And it's like, and like also like the backtrack on D, like D was like an Army veteran. Like D did a lot of stuff in a short period of time. Like, so I think his whole thing was like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, I want to do this. Like, why not? If it don't work, it don't work. But I'm at least try. So he was very influential because even throughout the law school situation, bro, I remember like one time, just when he was trying to do the Mall, Louisiana thing. Like, mind you, I'm in like my second year of law school. He like, D, you got a suit, right? I'm like, yeah, bro, I got a couple suits. He like, bro, we got this meeting at Mall, Louisiana, bro. You gonna just come and just say you my lawyer? I'm like, D, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I don't feel comfortable doing that because like we just had a conversation in law school class, like about teachers saying like that's one of the no-nos. Like, you could never just say that you're somebody you're not, because like that's a bad look on everything. D, like, man, nobody ever gonna find out about this. And now people find out about this. Like, nobody ever probably heard the story.
You tell it.
So we go to this meeting, it's like, and like this is like us negotiating the terms of like what the deal is gonna be. And I'm like, D, you didn't even give me no time to prepare for this. Like, I don't even really know, D. I'm telling you, like, bro, I'm only in school. Like, we don't really be doing stuff like this. We just be reading. Like, bro, it's all good, bro. Like, just use some of the words you know, and you're a smart person. And like, if you know, D, like, this is like what he would say. And he like kind of like muscling me, like, bro, like, I'm telling you, like, now at this point, the suit is on, we in the car, and like he just like really giving me this motivational talk, like, bro, I'm telling you, you're gonna do this. Now you can do this, you're gonna do this. Like, you're gonna do this. Like, we gonna do this, bro. Man, we get in the meeting. It's like the people like that. Like, so you know, with malls, it's not like, it's like a corporations that own malls. So it's not like Mall Louisiana. It's like, it's like a bigger thing. Like mall people that own Mall Louisiana like own other malls. So it's like those people, their lawyers, are the people that from Foot Locker, other shoe stores in the mall, because at this point in time, like the resale thing was still kind of like uncertain. So Foot Locker and like other stores were like, we don't want this store coming into the mall. I think they knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
They knew that people were going to go to their store, cop the shoes, and go resell them, and then they were going to sell them for more. They knew this was going to happen, and they didn't want that. And it's crazy to look at it now, because now in most malls they have consignment stores. Like consignment stores, like are probably like more prevalent than regular retail stores. Yeah. So, like I say, those people, it's Foot Locker and their lawyers.
That's crazy.
And I'm looking at these people like, and also like, you know, I feel like I still look young now, but just imagine then, like, I look even more young. Like no beard at this point. So we get to the meeting, bro. Like my suit all baggy. Like, like this is before, like, you know, I wasn't really like I said, I wasn't on point with that type of shit just yet, bro. Yeah. Like I was still like on hardcore streetwear. Like me getting a suit was only because
you needed it for class.
I needed it for something.
Yeah.
And I didn't even bother to take the time to get it tailored or whatever. So the suit baggy, like I got on. The only thing that I felt good about was I had on my Pradas. That's the only thing I felt good about. Like, bro, I feel comfortable because my shoes is something I'm comfortable in. Then we get to the meeting. It's like, so they start the meeting. I say, okay, what do you guys bring to the table? So I'm just really running down things that, you know, that I know, like, hey, this is what the market is, like, just how much money we could possibly be making, like, this is the inventory we have, this is what we got going on. Like, we're not trying to get in nobody's way, just that type of situation. And the lawyers are just looking like, bro, what are you even talking about? Like, did I tell you what this meeting is even about? And I'm like, no. Nobody told me what it's even about. So it's like, well, basically, like, this is us telling you guys like that you can do it, but it's like, if you guys like, you ever feel any sense of the way of y'all getting in the way, it's like we're gonna like pretty much squash y'all. Like that was pretty much saying like, bro, it's nothing that y'all could do. Y'all are never going to be bigger than us. We just wanted to let y'all know. So this whole meeting was like not to even discuss or settle anything. It was just more so like them to flex their muscles on us.
So what was the point of it? They could have sent that in the email.
Well, I think it's one of the situations that, bro, we was young black men at that time, bro. Like we wasn't even nowhere near 30, bro. And it was just like, it's one of those things where I don't even think it was a race thing. It was just like a class thing. Like, bro, we about to show you, about to put y'all in your place type situation. Like, this is Foot Locker. This is Jimmy Jazz. This is the Mall Louisiana Corporation, whatever those people was. It was different, bro. So it was like, it was eye-opening to me because, like, it made me realize, like, bro, we got so much further to go.
Yeah.
If this what the goal is, D, we really faking it until we make it right now, bro. But it's like, for him, he didn't hear none of that. Yeah. All he heard was the yes.
Yeah. That's all he cared about.
And from that point on, bro, it was like on go. From that point on, bro, we hopped in his car. He had a Beamer at the time. Hopped in the Beamer. We go to Home Depot. This dude pull up out of me, goes like, who got a pickup truck? We need y'all right now. We need to come meet y'all, stop moving shoes. It was the same day, bro. We left and just instantly from that point. So from that point, bro, from the day I met dude, he was one of the first people that I was on the same time. And me like, bro, if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. But he was even bigger because he moved without no fear.
Yeah.
He moved without no fear. And I think he's very influential to everything that's going on right now because we seeing a thriving of like black designers, and he did that. We see thriving of black people opening up stores, shoe stores. Like we see that it's on Instagram and itself, bro. He was one of the first people to do that, bro. Like, dude was an innovator, and I don't even know if he was intentionally trying to be.
Nah.
That's the thing, bro. And I think that's what innovators are. Is like it's people that do great shit without even trying to do that. Like I don't think that was like he just really wanted to.
Yeah, he didn't care about being known. He
No,
just wanted, like, if
no.
he saw something in his mind, like he was going to do it.
No, bro. He was about putting people on, bro. Like his whole reasoning for putting me in that room was just like, even if he did it unintentionally, it opened my eyes up to like really just really what the table is like to
Yeah.
be at this table, bro. Because that was a table I didn't even. I could say I didn't deserve to be at that table at that point in my life just yet. So that in itself was like was forever indebted to D for that because like, bro, you could have really got somebody that
Yeah.
really could have helped you for real. Like I don't know if you just thought that I could do more than I could do, but the fact you trusted me to do this, it was
The
crazy.
belief that, like,
Yeah.
I think he's probably one of the most loyal people I've ever met.
Oh my god, bro, dude, bro. Like I got so many stories with dude. It's like
I'm gonna tell mine.
Go ahead, bro. I got so many stories. Crazy.
No, we had to be like 9 or 10 years old. No bullshit. No, this is the why. Like it got to go back this far. It'd be like 9 or 10. I used to live across the street from Southeastern, and I used to be the ball boy for the football team.
That's right.
And like
Fitzgerald shit.
Yeah. So I would go. We would walk across the street. I would get him in for free. Like I just sign my name. We'll go across, and like in between like the real game, like really my job was to catch the field goals. Southeastern wasn't real good, so they would never really kicking field goals. But as you know, like high school sports, where the little kids at
on the sideline doing their thing.
Doing their thing, playing
on the
football
side, on the track, sometimes wherever it is, how the situation is.
On the track. So we over there playing football. Me, him, and some other white kids. Cool. That's at the game. We killing them. Me and D are killing them.
Bro, he's probably like the most competitive person.
Bro. Oh, for sure, for sure.
He hate to lose.
I'm playing quarterback. I'm throwing bombs. He catching them. He playing quarterback, throwing bombs. I'm catching them. One time, like I think I mossed somebody. Boom. I just had on the ball. Dude tried to punch me. D saw it. Like I didn't.
All right, no.
All I knew was all I heard was boom, and I turned around. D's already done punched him, and he like, oh, let's go. Like I didn't even finish the game because we knew like what that was about to.
Yeah.
So we jumped the fence, and got out of there.
Yeah, bro. D was one of those people, bro. It's like he if you was his people, bro, he would go to the end of the world, bro.
Yeah.
Like he always like in real talk, like that's one of the like I'm glad that one of my last real memories with him was me graduating law school because real talk, he was so proud of it. Like and really all my friends were so proud, but D was really super proud because he was there to see that process. Like, you know what I mean? Like by the time I was in law school, a lot of my friends had already graduated and had went off to other places because now like they're not in secondary school or post graduate school.
Yeah.
So like D was really one of my only friends still around that point. And he would just be so amazed. Like he would be amazed at what I'm doing, but I'm amazed at what he's doing. So it was like we kind of used to just be like not even trying to one up each other, but it was more so like we was really motivating each other like to do whatever we was doing in our field, bro. It was like it was crazy. Like, bro, I can't miss graduation, bro. Like, please, you know, like, I can't miss. Like, you know, he came to both of my graduations. My first graduation, that's when I first really kind of met dude. And it's crazy because, like I said, once again, it's all off of the shoes, bro. Because he was into the shoes too. Like everything that I'm telling you, all of my partners, whether my partners from O&O, like you know, you, St. Martin, like everybody that's still in my life now is based off of our love of shoes.
Yeah, shout out to Archie, bro.
Yeah, everybody that I can say that's really close to me is based off of love of shoes. You know what I mean? It's crazy to say that, you know what I mean? But that's what it all started with.
It's all about the shoes.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to talk about?
I mean, no, bro. I think we touched on a lot of things, bro. Yeah. I enjoyed it, bro. Like this is kind of like therapeutic to get your thoughts out because a lot of these things like it's stuff that I be tweeting or just like telling my girl, and she get tired of me telling her. So, you know, I think bro, we touched on everything, bro. I mean, the thing is like with you, bro, it's like a conversation. We could keep going.
Yeah, we could.
We could keep going, bro, but it's like it's a good ending point. We can come back again. Like, bro, I'm not, you know.
I like this. I like this part because even then when you let's say 2 years ago when I really wanted to have you, I think this is a different Devin than I even knew then.
Bro, this is much better, bro, because like I guess I've had more real experiences now. You know what I mean? I feel like back then I probably feel like I would have gave you a more superficial version of myself. I would have still given you me, but I feel like I guess the thing. That's what the baby has allowed me to do. The baby has allowed me to be my true self. And we can end it on this point, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the issues we have in the world now whether between like men and women or between like blacks and white. I think people have an issue with like being their true self because in fear of what the world expect them to be.
Yeah.
I think having a baby like let me lower my walls and like I don't have any like expectations or feelings of how I should be. Like I could be my softest self with her. I could be my most strongest self and be the best protector of her. So it's like this is like the best me that I've been. And I think that's how life's supposed to be. I feel like if we ever sit down again, it should be better because I should be a better version of myself the next time.
And I should be a better version of a
Yeah,
podcast.
bro. Yeah, bro. So
For sure. Well, this has been another episode of The Rhythm. My dog, Devin Fields. Like, comment, subscribe, do everything you need to do. Rest in peace, D.
Yeah, bro. Rest in peace, D, bro. The realest. Oh, that was fun. That was hard.